Okay, I do have some other questions. One from the Sun newspaper. You are known as one of the top, influencers in the world today, but who influences you?
Well, right now, I think the influence is my own inner silence. And I'm very much a practitioner and believer in accessing the silent domain of our own consciousness. But I've had great teachers, I've had great people influence me, both living teachers like J. Krishnamurti, at one time a very strong relationship with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And of course, I'm a student of wisdom traditions from Pythagoras and Parmenides to the sages of the Upanishads, to the Eastern philosophers, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Buddhism, Buddha, and also the insights that I have gained from my study of the Judeo-Christian traditions and the Islamic traditions. I'm an obsessive, compulsive neurotic when it comes to studying wisdom traditions.
That's great. We can see that those are the factors that have influenced you and for the wisdom that you are now giving us. So we're very blessed. The next question comes from a magazine called Passage, and this is about the senior population in the world, the senior population which is booming. How do we keep them going strong mentally, socially, and spiritually for our aging senior citizens?
Yes.
Is that a tough question?
That's the fastest growing segment of the human population, is actually over the age of 90. That's the demographic. And what is very interesting is that there's a lot of good research that shows that today's 80 could be biologically 60, that today's 60 could be biologically 40. What do I mean by biologically? I mean things like measures, biological measurements like blood pressure, bone density, body temperature regulation, immune function, fat content, cholesterol, HDL ratios, hearing, vision, skin thickness, immune function, hormones. They're all actually very pliable and even reversible. And we're learning a lot about the simplicity of how to stay vigorous and biologically youthful even as our chronological age advances. So biological age does not have to correspond to chronological age. And there are many, many demographic studies now, sociological studies, that show that well-being, including biological age, is a function of many things, including job, happiness. So as people retire, they actually have worsening of their health. The idea that you should retire is not a good idea. As people get older, they should use their wisdom to mentor younger people and remain useful. And in societies where that is encouraged, you find a completely different expression of biological age. So social factors, cultural factors, spiritual factors, community living, and cultural conditioning all influence our biological age. In those cultures where the older people are respected, put on a pedestal, and found to be useful, and where older people are looked at as the anchors of wisdom, you have a completely different biological age. Given the fact that the fastest growing segment of the human population is in that segment, beyond 80, close to 90, and beyond 90, I think we have to, as a collective consciousness, take responsibility for cultivating a different expression of aging. Remember that the average age of a human being in the Roman Empire was only 29 years. So Alexander the Great died at the age of 30 something, but at the age of 28 he was already a washed out old person. The average age of a human being in the United States only 100 years ago was 49. And now we are saying it's the fastest growing segment of the human population across the world is over the age of 90. And it has a lot to do with not only lifestyle, diet, sleep, nutrition, exercise, weight control, breathing, by breathing I mean conscious breathing and awareness of breathing as in pranayama. It has a lot to do with other factors which are sociological. And these are not very difficult to implement as a cultural phenomenon. In the next week or so, even though I'm traveling to India, I'm addressing President Clinton's initiative on well-being, and President Clinton is taking on an 8-year program for embarking the entire country in the conversation of well-being. So as once again, the world is a projection of our collective conversation, and the more awareness we have of what we can do, if it's inevitable that we are going to have an aging population, then we want the wisdom of experience with the biology of youth. Otherwise, we'll all be doomed, because we are also going in that direction. We don't all want to be doomed for eternal senility. I think we can